Yo, what's going on, guys? It's JMass, and I'm back again with another dope New England adventure. So as you might be able to tell, I'm walking along a really long and wide runway right now. This runway was obviously once part of a massive airfield that hosted a variety of aircraft, but this runway wasn't just used by airplanes. The primary method of transportation that utilized this runway were blimps, specifically anti-submarine blimps during World War II. That's because the airfield I'm currently standing in is the Naval Air Station South Weymouth, a World War II era naval base that was actually constructed in 1941 by the US Navy. It was also used by the US Marine Corps, and after World War II ended, this entire airfield and base actually became a reserve base, and it hosted a variety of reserve aircraft. But today, the entire thing is abandoned. It was actually abandoned in the mid-1990s, 1997 to be specific. And we're going to be checking out what's left over. There's a lot of cool stuff. Obviously, the airstrips behind me, but there's also some abandoned towers, some random buildings scattered across the property. And I'm going to take you guys with me as we check it out. So anyways, this is the Naval Air Station South Weymouth. And I got to say, too, one of my absolute favorite locations. I came here a few years ago. I think it was 2021. And I've been blown away ever since. This really is one of my favorite abandoned locations in New England, and I'm excited to take you guys because I've been dying to come and film here for a while now. But anyways, my name is JMass. If you love abandoned exploration, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial, or subscribe to the YouTube channel because I'm always making videos like this. But yeah, let's get right into it. One of my all-time favorite abandoned locations, the Naval Air Station South Weymouth, a World War II era Navy base. Now, the first thing I do want to show you guys is this absolutely massive abandoned airfield. A variety of aircraft utilize these airstrips, but as I mentioned previously, the primary aircraft were blimps, specifically World War II era anti-submarine blimps. Now, these blimps patrolled the coastline of Massachusetts, searching for German U-boats and submarines. And these huge airstrips that you're looking at right now had to support these blimps going to and from the coast to the Naval Air Station here. Today, most of the buildings have been demolished. There actually were two massive aircraft hangars on the property. You have to understand that blimps are huge, and to store these blimps, they needed massive aircraft hangars. They could actually store several blimps at once, although they do no longer exist. However, they have been doing a lot of urban redevelopment to the property. You'll see that they got some condos all the way over there. So the entire property itself isn't fully abandoned. There also was a movie studio here at once. If you know the 2016 film Patriots Day, which starred Mark Wahlberg, part of that movie was actually filmed here at the Naval Air Station South Weymouth. They had a bunch of movie props set up, although those were eventually destroyed and burned down by arsonists. But this is the airfield itself. Very cool, very massive, and I don't think the videos really do it justice. This is a huge property, and you can almost imagine what it must have been like during World War II, when blimps were constantly flying in the sky, landing and going in the air, searching for German U-boats in the Atlantic waters. So the first spot I want to show you guys here at the Naval Air Station South Weymouth are these two abandoned buildings. Not really sure what they were, but still, we're gonna check them out, see what's going on. And luckily, I do have my trusty flashlight with me. I remember they were pretty dark last time I came. Again, not really sure what these were used for. I assume probably some utility sheds. Maybe they had tools and electrical equipment. But yeah, up here inside here, got a lot of electrical circuitry and stuff like that. A lot of random pieces of equipment though. Metal and machinery. So this was definitely some sort of utility shed. I just don't know specifically, what it was storing, but still very cool. Yeah, check all that out. All the electrical panels. And the outside is absolutely covered in graffiti. And that's the thing you'll notice at this whole air station, especially when we get to the towers. Just completely covered in graffiti. A lot of people come here to tag it. Let's make our way over to the second one right here. It looks smaller, but I think it actually goes pretty far back. It's just, covered by plants and trees and stuff. All right, let's see what's going on inside this one. Oh yeah, take a look at that. Let me see if I can get inside. Look at this, guys. Again, a lot of electrical equipment, circuitry, just electrical panels everywhere. That must be what this was. Yeah, this must be an electrical utility shed. So much stuff everywhere. But yeah, this is one of the 2 buildings that we're checking out. Pretty cool inside, just covered in graffiti. But there's a pretty decent amount of stuff left behind. Mostly electrical equipment. Don't know exactly what these things are, but it's still pretty cool. This, I don't really know what it is. There's like some weird little, I don't even know what I would call this, like a channel. A canal, I don't even know. There's like a weird little channel going underneath the floor. Kind of cool, but yeah, pretty cool. Let's keep making our way over and go check out the towers, which are easily my favorite part. I did also just want to really briefly show you guys some more abandoned remnants. I don't really know what those are, but probably some sort of cellar holes. And then of course you got an abandoned foundation right here. I assume at one point there was probably a huge building over here. Potentially even one of the abandoned and demolished aircraft hangars. I don't really know, but just kind of cool. You got this little power station right here, completely tagged. But these little things, I don't know what they are, but they're just covered in water. Looks like clay and soil. So I don't know, kind of interesting. Just wanted to show you that really briefly. So part of why I love the Naval Air Station South Weymouth so much is because of the 2 defining landmarks, the 2 control towers. Now, neither control tower was actually built during World War II. Both were built post-World War II. The one you'll see directly in front of me was built sometime in the early 1950s, and that one was used pretty frequently. But there's also a second control tower right over there, and that one was actually built in the 1990s, and ironically was never used. So there's 2 total control towers, both of which are abandoned, but one was used extensively and one was never used at all. Now we're gonna check out this one right here first, the 1950s one. It's really cool. When I came here last time, I was actually able to get inside of both control towers. We'll see if that's still a possibility today, but I'm excited to show you guys. All right, check this out, guys. This is the first of 2 abandoned control towers. Very cool. This one was built in the early 1950s and was extensively used. Now, the bad news is I don't think I'm going to be able to get inside this one. I just looked around and it looks sealed shut. But I just also remembered something. A few years ago, there was actually a huge fire here. I believe it was in 2021, actually. There was a fire that was burning right over there. You'll see remnants of the fire. And I think as a result, they actually closed down this tower. So this tower is no longer accessible, which is kind of a shame, because I do remember going inside of it when I was here last time, but I'm hoping we can get inside the other one. And check this out. This is the remnants of the other building that once stood here. And there definitely was a fire here. Kind of a shame, but yeah, this thing got absolutely destroyed, as you can see. There's burn marks and charred wood everywhere, completely decimated. But again, the abandoned control tower itself is definitely one of the defining features of this location. And once we get over to the other control tower, you'll actually get a really good view of this one from the air. So I'm excited to show you guys that. And directly in front of us is the second control tower. This one was built in the mid-1990s, but as I mentioned earlier, the Naval Air Station South Weymouth was completely closed down in 1997. So basically, the US Navy built this control tower and never actually used it. It's a completely unused tower, never saw the light of day, despite being completely built. But today it is fully abandoned for us to check out. I'm really hoping we can get inside though. Kind of getting worried that we might not be able to. But check that out, super cool. And this is the building right below it. As I mentioned earlier, completely covered in graffiti. Very cool. Very upset, guys. I looked around the entire tower and there is no way to get inside. The entire thing is sealed shut. And you know what's a shame is that when I came here in early 2021, I could get in both towers. Both of them were accessible. I got to explore the interiors, and Ever since then, I was really excited to film the Naval Air Station South Weymouth and show you guys the inside of those control towers. What do you know? It's June 2023 and this is completely sealed shut. There is zero way to get inside. Now that one I expected, the other control tower, the one that had the fire in late 2021, I expected that. There was a fire, I get it. But this one really can't even get in. I don't know, kind of bummed out, but still really cool. I'm just gonna walk around the property, show you guys, all sides of the exterior. That's the least I can do since I thought I could go inside. Kind of bummed out, but I could not find a way to get inside. Well, I think as we walk around the structure, I'll just tell you guys what it was like when you could go inside. And after this video clip ends, I'll show you some pictures of what the interior of the tower looked like because it is really cool. And I was super excited to show you guys. So I still want to show you. I'll include some pictures of what the interior looked like when I last came in 2021. But regardless whether or not we can get in, it's still a really cool place. The tower itself is dope. And this is still one of my all-time favorite abandoned locations. When I came here last time in 2021, you could actually walk right in there. That wasn't sealed shut. You could walk right in. It would take you inside this little brick building. And then you would follow a staircase all the way up to the top of the tower. And from there, you had some stellar views. I mean, you could see the other control tower. You could see the entire airfield. And you could even get glimpses of the city of Weymouth and the ocean. It was really cool. The view was stellar. Really want to show you guys, and you could probably tell I'm a little bummed out right now. I really wasn't expecting it to be sealed shut, but it is what it is, and we can still at least enjoy the exterior of this location. I love hot moms, don't we all? Still very cool though. But I do like the graffiti. Some of this graffiti is really nice. Looks like a lot of it's pretty fresh too, so this building must have been graffitied pretty recently. I will say though, with this building being shut, that does decrease the chances of this structure getting destroyed any further. Decreases the chances of fires and arson, vandalism inside. So while it does suck that we can't go inside the property, at least I know it'll be protected. Another cool thing I want to let you guys know about this is that even though this entire station is called Naval Air Station South Weymouth, this tower isn't actually located in the city of Weymouth. This entire Naval Air Station is shared between 3 towns, Weymouth, Abington, and Rockland. And I believe this tower right here is either in the Abington or Rockland town. I forget which one, I'll include below. But still really cool to check out. Beautiful property. So these are some pictures I took of the control towers when I first went on May 23rd, 2021. You can see the inside of the brick building below the white tower, as well as the very top deck. Also very soon you'll be able to see the top deck of the red tower, and if you look closely you'll also notice the original building that was beside it before the fire that occurred later that year. Now, one thing I did later find out is that part of why the towers are sealed shut is because, unfortunately, people were jumping off the top decks while they were accessible. While I understand that is a safety hazard keeping them open, it was nonetheless my favorite part of the Urbex experience there. Anyways, I hope these pictures shed some light on how they looked before. Exploring those control towers and being able to get inside was a really cool aspect of that place. Well, regardless if we could go inside or not, that was still a really cool building. The 1990s control tower here at the Naval Air Station South Weymouth. A tower that was built by the US Navy, then completely shut down right after and never used. Very bizarre. And of course, this is the other control tower, the one that was built in the early 1950s. This one at least was used and, did see use by the US Navy, but pretty cool though. Again, kind of sad we couldn't go inside, but it is what it is. Not every abandoned location will last forever. But very cool. I'm glad I got to show you guys. This still is one of my all-time favorite abandoned locations. Well guys, this might be one of the most disastrous videos I've ever filmed and released on the JMass YouTube channel, if not the most disastrous. Today's just been riddled with inconveniences. I mean, the Naval Air Station South Weymouth is one of my absolute favorite abandoned locations. I love it, but there's been a lot of problems. We couldn't get into the control towers, but as you could tell, I'm absolutely soaking wet. So what happened was a random rainstorm, and not even a rainstorm, a thunderstorm out of nowhere just came in. I mean, you guys saw the earlier clips. It was bright blue sunny skies. A random rainstorm just came in, just pounded on me. Like, there was so much rain. You can still hear thunder in the background. And I was wicked far away from my car. So I was just out in the pouring rain for 15 minutes, and your boy is drenched in rainwater right now. So because of that, I'm going to give an impromptu outro. I was going to look around a little more, though I will admit there's not that much left. It's really just the airstrips. So I'm going to get a bit of an impromptu outro because of that. So anyways, guys, that was the Naval Air Station South here in Weymouth, Massachusetts, although there's parts of it also in Abington and Rockland. Really cool spot, by far one of my favorite abandoned locations in New England. Kind of a shame we couldn't get into the towers, but at least you guys got to see them. They're really cool. While I did mostly discuss the World War II era history, you know, they used anti-submarine blimps here that patrolled Massachusetts' coastline looking for German U-boats. This did have a pretty sizable post-war existence. You know, it was used during the Cold War. In 1950, it became part of the Naval Air Reserve Training Command. Had a lot of surplus aircraft stationed here. It was a reserve naval base. And it was officially abandoned in 1997. Pretty much all of the buildings were demolished, including the gigantic aircraft hangars that stored the blimps. All that's really left are those two buildings we saw at the beginning and the control towers. And of course, this massive airfield. But they are doing a lot of redevelopment here. So who knows how much longer this will be here. But anyways, I've been JMass. If you guys love urban exploration and exploring abandoned locations, feel free to follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do a lot of abandoned exploration on this channel, and it's usually not this disastrous. I know, I'm complaining a lot. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to show you guys one of my favorite spots. But the rain was a slight annoyance. Kind of drenched right now. But anyways, guys, I've been JMass. Naval Air Station South Weymouth, Weymouth, Massachusetts. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.